I love South Korea. You love South Korea. Let's talk about a few things before you come and visit. Cue the intro.
See you again. See you again.
Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like the content, please hit that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get the latest content. Alright, you have an interest in Asia, in particular South Korea, but all you see are barriers to entry. Well, I will do my best to let you know of some ways to visit in a later video, but first we need to clarify or clear up some misconceptions. Visiting South Korea and working in South Korea clearly need to be distinguished, and I know it seems quite obvious, but a lot of people come here to visit South Korea and then later decide to work here, but it is very different from when they first came to visit. Sometimes foreigners come here thinking it is a wonderful place, and it is, don't get me wrong, but what you see in the dramas or entertainment channels are not an accurate representation of the work-life culture here. So I'm here to kind of clarify some of it. Sometimes we come here with the mindset of our Western or Eastern habits and cultural norms. Having the mindset by any means is not an issue, but sometimes it can cause tension if you try to apply them in a more general sense. What do I mean by this? A clear example would be the defamation law. A big disclaimer here, I am in no way a lawyer and I am not giving you any legal advice. Everything here is for informational purposes only and not for the purpose of providing legal advice. You should contact your attorney to obtain advice with respect to any particular issue or problem. Now, back to the issue. To briefly describe, in Canada, I believe you can say something in public about a person without, as long as it's true, and you may not face any liable repercussions. In Korea, however, if you say something about a person in public, whether true or false, you can face some issues with the law. The key point to understand here is whether true or false. Defamation charges can be pursued. So, from my Western upbringing, it is okay to some degree to vocalize your thoughts as long as they're true. However, in Korea, that's not the case. Sometimes you can see foreigners react and respond, justifiably so, only to get the tables turned on them because they were not aware of the laws in this particular scenario that I've laid out. Another concept which has been talked about often is this idea of nunchi. And this is something that a lot of foreigners miss. Once you've lived here long enough, this concept becomes second nature. But someone visiting for the first time, this can totally be new to them because there's no real word for word or direct translation of nunchi to another language. This concept of nunchi is actually quite difficult to explain, but I shall try my best. Nunchi is like exercising internal silence and while increasing external awareness. Weird, right? It's not one or the other, but it's an interplay of both. There's a silencing of what you want or your desires, thoughts, needs, or whatever, but at the same time being more aware of the social cues and mannerisms of the person or group you are with. When everyone at the table is exercising this nunchi, it kind of has this weird awkward pause or this moment where it's like, oh, you go first. Oh, no, you go first. This is that conflict that occurs when they're trying to be courteous at the same time, be polite to one another. Until this conflict gets resolved, until one person decides to not be silent in their internal voice and start going after what they want. or what the other person wants. But it goes even deeper than that. How do you determine who gets to be the one that accepts or refuses the offer? You have to keep track. There is a history component to this that keeps a record of the environment. So things like how often has the other person paid, how many shots did they take, as in drinks, and how much did they consume of the appetizer. These little things add up, and it accounts for who gets the right of way in these social situations. Now, what typically happens when you decide to forget it, I will do me and only I matter, then the passive aggressive behaviors start to creep in. You might get less messages, or you're categorized as the foreigner, which pigeonholes you into a friend list who only gets reached out for specific reasons. Moreover, they will less likely introduce you to their friends, whom they are close with. Now, am I saying these are bad behaviors? By no means, absolutely not. I am just helping you be aware of the different social milieu that Koreans tend to prioritize. And in America or Canada, they have their tendencies that they value more than others. So again, just be aware, I am not encouraging self-hate here. So going forward, if you want to visit South Korea, I highly encourage you to do so. It is a wonderful place, and it is by far not perfect, but it is pretty good. You can visit wonderful sites like this. Or this. Just be aware here that things are different here, and as obvious as it may be, it would be helpful to understand the culture a little more and be aware of the differences in approach to a particular subject. In a future video, I will talk about some ways that may help you come to South Korea as a worker, but I shall end it here today. And remember, if you like the content I have provided, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. It will keep up with the latest content, and it would help me out a lot. I would greatly appreciate it. Until then, 안녕, 다음에 얘기하자. Or in other words, goodbye, and let's talk later.